You've probably belted out "Hey Jealousy" in your car without ever realizing it's one of the saddest songs of the 90s. Beneath its bright guitars and feel-good chorus hides a devastating true story, one of heartbreak, addiction, and loss. The man who wrote it, Doug Hopkins, turned his personal battles with alcoholism and regret into a song that would make his band famous. But before he could share in their success, he was fired. And not long after, he took his own life. This is the real story behind "Hey Jealousy," a hit that became a haunting reminder of the man who never got to celebrate it.
Tell me, do you think you'd be alright if I could just crash here tonight?
"Hey Jealousy" tells the story of a man who's burned every bridge, ruined a relationship, and is left with nothing but regret and a bottle. It's a dialogue between him and the woman he drove away, a desperate plea for a second chance even though he knows he doesn't deserve one. When he sings, "If you don't expect too much from me, you might not be let down," it's a painfully self-aware moment. He's admitting he'll probably fail her again, but still hoping she'll give him another shot. Then there's, "Well, I blew the whole thing years ago," a direct acknowledgement that the relationship fell apart because of his own actions, namely his drinking and infidelity. And the most tragic lyric of all, "The past is gone, but something might be found to take its place." It's a hollow promise, an attempt to convince himself there's still a chance for redemption, but it doesn't sound convincing, and that's what makes it hit so hard. What most listeners don't realize is that these lyrics were autobiographical. Hopkins was writing about himself. His real-life relationship with his girlfriend, Kathy Swafford, ended for the very same reasons described in the song, his drinking and cheating.
You can trust me not to think and not to sleep around.
One lyric change completely altered the song's meaning, and in hindsight, symbolized the growing tension that destroyed the band. Hopkins originally wrote the line as, "You can trust me not to drink," a desperate promise from an addict trying to convince his lover and himself that he can stay sober. But before the song was recorded, lead singer Robin Wilson changed it to, "You can trust me not to think." Wilson said later that he was tired of singing about drinking, since Hopkins' songs always seemed to reference alcohol. He wanted to make it sound less dark, more universal. But to Hopkins, that small change was deeply personal. It erased the raw truth behind the song. That one word, "drink to think," transformed a painful confession into something more vague and sanitized. And it marked the beginning of the end for Hopkins and the band he founded. Doug Hopkins was a brilliant songwriter, but also a man haunted by addiction and depression. His drinking had become so severe during the recording of New Miserable Experience that he could barely perform. The record label finally gave the band an ultimatum: fire Hopkins or lose their deal. Reluctantly, the band let him go, just weeks before the album's release. The heartbreaking irony? The very songs that made the Gin Blossoms famous, "Hey Jealousy" and "Found Out About You," were written by the man they had to fire.
'Cause all I really want's to be with you, feeling like I matter too.
As the band rose to stardom, Hopkins spiraled deeper into despair. He received a gold record for "Hey Jealousy," but reportedly destroyed it in anger. He said hearing the song on the radio didn't make him happy. It just reminded him of what he'd lost. In December 1993, a little over a year after the song's release, Doug Hopkins took his own life at age 32. The song that made his band famous also became his epitaph. The "Hey Jealousy" music video seems upbeat at first. A typical 90s rock montage of driving, playing, and performing. But on closer inspection, it's filled with subtle religious imagery that mirrors Hopkins' own struggle for redemption. There's a fishbowl with a single black fish, a visual echo of the ichthys, or Jesus fish, symbolizing faith and rebirth. The water could represent baptism, a cleansing, a new beginning. But the singer isn't in the water. He's behind it. It's a haunting metaphor for Hopkins himself, always reaching for redemption but never able to truly grasp it. There's also a golden blender that resembles a chalice, a stand-in for communion. But instead of offering salvation, it's empty. In front of it sit broken eggs, symbols of resurrection that are cracked and lifeless. Every element suggests a failed rebirth, a faith that didn't save him. Even the chandelier hanging above the band resembles the sun, a symbol of divine light. Yet despite standing under that light, Hopkins's story remained one of darkness and loss. In the years that followed, the Gin Blossoms struggled to come to terms with the shadow Hey Jealousy cast over their career. Robin Wilson, the lead singer, has said it took nearly 30 years for the band to process what happened. He described that period as very painful, a time when they carried both the success and the guilt of losing Doug. Wilson has also acknowledged that changing Hopkins' lyric from drink to think wasn't meant as disrespect, but as an attempt to move the band past their drinking image. Still, he admits it's something that has haunted them. Guitarist Jesse Valenzuela has reflected that they simply didn't understand mental illness at the time. If they'd known more about bipolar disorder and depression, he said, they might have handled things differently. Today, the band continues to play Hey Jealousy and Found Out About You as tributes to their fallen friend. For them, it's not just a hit song, it's a reminder of what could have been. Even the band's name, Gin Blossoms, carries tragic irony. The phrase gin blossoms refers to a condition called rosacea, sometimes associated with heavy drinking, that causes the nose to redden and swell. It was originally a light-hearted reference, inspired by a photo of the comedian W.C. Fields. But as Hopkins's alcoholism worsened, the name became a dark reflection of the band's reality. It was as if the identity they had chosen as a joke foreshadowed the tragedy that was to come. Hey Jealousy remains one of the defining songs of the 1990s, a bittersweet anthem that hides a devastating story. For most listeners, it's a nostalgic summer tune. But for those who know the truth, it's a cry for help from a man who was drowning in his own despair. The lyric change, the firing, and the band's eventual success all combine into one of rock's most tragic stories. Proof that sometimes the happiest songs can come from the saddest souls. So the next time you hear Hey Jealousy on the radio, remember Doug Hopkins, the man who wrote his pain into a pop song, and in doing so, left behind one of the most haunting legacies in rock history.
Before you gallop away into the sunset, remember, this is Man, Bear, Cow TV. We run on three things: caffeine, chaos, and your support. So smash that like button like you're tackling a man, mauling a bear, and milking a cow, all at the same time. Subscribe if you haven't already, and if you really want to keep this weird wagon rolling, consider joining the channel as a monthly supporter or hitting that super thanks button for a one-time high five to my wallet. Either way, you'll be helping keep the lights on and the Man Bear Cow fed, which is important. Very important.